Hey everyone, did you know that over 70% of beginner astrophotographers give up within their first year because their gear just can't keep up with the demands of deep sky imaging? I ran into that exact problem myself until I tried the MirroSky by Spectrum Optical GX35 Smart EQ mount with guidescope and imaging module. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. What sold me right away was the built-in 53mm ED optical system. Most starter mounts force you to buy a separate guidescope, which adds bulk and extra cost. With the GX35, the ED glass is already there, cutting chromatic aberration on bright targets like the Orion Nebula so you get sharper stars without stacking hours of calibration frames. I set it up in my backyard last month and captured the Andromeda Galaxy in a single 90-second exposure, something I couldn't pull off with my old rig without a guidescope. The mount itself is surprisingly light for what it does. At just under 11 pounds, it's easy to toss in a backpack and hike to a dark site, yet it handles a 10-pound payload with zero flexure. I've used it with both a small APO refractor and a larger Newtonian, and the dual encoder drive system keeps tracking rock solid even when the wind picks up. The belt-driven design is whisper quiet, so you won't wake the neighbors during late-night imaging runs. Speaking of quiet, the MirroSky app is a game-changer for those of us who hate fumbling with hand controllers in the dark. You pair your phone via Wi-Fi, and the app shows a live view of your target plus real-time polar alignment overlays. I lined up Polaris in under 2 minutes the other night, something that used to take me 20 minutes with a traditional polar scope. The app also lets you plate solve and sync to any catalog object, so you can quickly recenter without losing your guiding accuracy. Included accessories are a nice bonus. You get a dovetail saddle that fits both Vixen and Losmandy-style plates, a 12V power cable with a car adapter, and even a basic T-ring adapter for DSLRs. I was able to plug in my mirrorless camera, start imaging M81, and have it guiding within 5 minutes, no extra shopping trips required. One thing I really appreciate is the built-in imaging module. It's not just a dumb camera, it's a full autoguider with a 1.2-megapixel Sony sensor and ST4 compatible port. I've used it to guide a 600mm Newtonian on faint galaxies, and the sub-arcsecond RMS error kept the star's pinpoint even at 3-minute subs. That kind of performance usually costs twice as much in separate components. That said, there are a couple of things to keep in mind. The mount's payload limit is 10 pounds, so if you're planning to run a heavy astrograph or a dual-camera rig, you'll need to step up to the larger GX50 model. Also, the app occasionally drops the Wi-Fi connection when your phone goes to sleep, so I keep a small power bank handy just to maintain the link. All in all, the MirroSky GX35 is the first all-in-one mount I've used that actually lets me image instead of troubleshoot. If you're tired of piecing together separate guidescopes, mounts, and software, this is the kit that finally keeps everything in one box. Check it out using the link below if you're ready to stop fighting your gear and start capturing the night sky. For most buyers, the real question is not whether MirroSky by Spectrum Optical GX35 Smart EQ mount with guidescope and imaging module sounds impressive on paper, but whether strengths like the GX35 comes with a 53mm ED, extra low dispersion, optical and lightweight design actually make daily use feel easier, more dependable, and more worthwhile after the first few days of excitement wear off. It is also smart to think about long-term satisfaction. A product like MirroSky by Spectrum Optical GX35 Smart EQ mount with guidescope and imaging module usually feels like the better buy when it stays convenient, comfortable, and reliable in normal everyday use instead of only looking good in the listing.